All right, are we live? Is everyone here in person? I think, maybe. Hey, yo, what's going on, everybody? Let me adjust this camera angle a tiny bit. All right, I think that's a little bit better framing. Yo, what's going on? Purple, the purple is a nice color on you. Appreciate it. Yo, what's going on? Davide from Italy. What's going on, Milton, Flory? What's going on, Zach? Sweet. All right, yeah, so basically what we're gonna do is, I got this idea for a chicken biryani, making it basically in only a sheet pan. So we're gonna see how it works. This isn't like a traditional, super traditional preparation. It's kind of like the spices, I'm just using what I have. We're gonna do like potatoes with chicken thighs, and we're gonna do whole chicken thighs. I don't know, we'll see how it works out, but it should be an interesting way to make it. It'll be delicious regardless, but I got an idea, so hopefully it turns out pretty good. Hey, I appreciate that, Daniel. What's going on, Joe? Man, everyone's flying in here. Tim in Texas, yo, what's going on? What's going on, Bernardo from Brazil? You just got done shoveling a bunch of snow and ice. Yeah, I heard so my family lives in Pennsylvania, and I actually didn't, I talked to my mom the other day, and she said they were supposed to get like 9 to 17 inches or something, which is ridiculous because I feel like we haven't got that much snow in a long time. But I'm in California, so it's not, obviously we have no snow, but it's getting colder. But I mean, I think at the lowest it's been around like low 40s here. And during the day it gets up to like 60s, mid 60s. Turkey biryani? I actually have turkey in the fridge right now, left over from Thanksgiving that I defrosted. So I technically could do that, but I do want to do this with chicken thighs just because I got an idea. Also, I've got some rice just soaking here. This is basmati rice, which is like the best rice ever. If you've never gotten it, I would highly suggest picking up some. Actually, I need to refill this container. So we'll get cooking in a couple minutes, but we'll just be chatting. Actually, I need to fill this up. So yeah, if you go to like I don't know, like an international grocery store or maybe an Indian grocery store, like look for some quality basmati rice. This is probably one of my favorite rices. Like if you're just gonna eat plain rice, get basmati. You know, if you're making like fried rice in other like Asian cuisines or like Chinese stuff, you might want to keep some like different varieties like jasmine or things of that nature. But for plain white rice, basmati is king in my opinion. I think the texture, for me it's the texture. I think the texture is just unreal. Can I still close this? We can get a little more in there. But yeah, I mean, this stuff lasts forever. I don't even know how much this cost. It was probably like 15 or 20 bucks if I had to guess. But this is like 10 pounds of rice. Just a ridiculous amount. Have you attempted different types of pula? I've not yet. Hopefully going to get into that for sure. You can save so many cell phones with that rice, true. Without potatoes, biryani is authentic. Don't add potato. I've definitely seen biryani recipes with potato in it. I'm just adding it to mine. I mean, you don't have to add it to yours. Like I said, the recipe that we're gonna go isn't super traditional anyway. I'm not trying to make like a super traditional from like a certain spot. I'm just kind of using the base techniques of biryani, which is cooking, you know, like a meat or chicken over, you know, a bed of rice. Like that's kind of what I'm going for, at least in this live stream. You buy rice by the 50-pound bag. Yeah, that's that would last you a long time as well. How many cups of rice go into a pound? Good question. I think 30 grams dry is a fourth of a cup. So 454 grams in a pound divided by 30. And then that gives you the amount of fourth cups. And then you can multiply whatever. So you could do that math. I don't feel like doing that. Something like that. Are you going to bake the biryani to mimic steaming? Yeah, so I'll show you in a second. But yeah, we're basically going to bake it. I will be using a pot to boil the rice first. And then I'll put it over top, and then we're going to kind of cover it up with just like aluminum foil. But basically, we're going to cook everything in this sheet pan. So actually, let me first, I'll toast some spices and whatnot. So this is some cardamom pods. I actually need to take the seeds out. We'll keep rolling. All right, so these are green cardamom pods, which I am just, actually I can probably give you a up close view. Let me, if this will focus. Right there, maybe. I don't think it's gonna focus. Oh, it kind of did. But it's just a little green cardamom pod. And I'm taking the seeds out from the inside of it. And then we're basically just gonna toast all these spices. Because basically what spices have is they have volatile oils and non-volatile oils that like release the aroma in them. So ways that you can release the volatile oils are through things like crushing them up, or if you give them heat. So we're going to toss them in this pan and just lightly toast them. So that is the coriander seeds, that's some black peppercorns, a couple cloves, and yeah, and the green cardamom seeds. And I'm also just going to throw some chili powder in here and some cumin seeds. And I like a lot of cumin, so I'm going to throw them in, a good bit of them. Let me switch so you guys can see that, huh? So these are just going to be toasting away down in this bottom corner over here. And just low heat, and I'm just wait until they smell kind of fragrant, and then I'm going to take them off. Just obviously you don't want to burn them. Just until they start to smell nice, I guess. And then this little mix is going to be used in our chicken marinade, but we're also going to save some and like sprinkle it in the rice when we're layering it out. And this was kind of one that I just came up with. I'm sure I've seen traditional like different mixes from different regions and stuff, but using those are like a common thing you'll see in biryani. Get a rice cooker instead of using a pot. I really don't feel like it's necessary to have a rice cooker, and I don't cook rice often enough. to warrant one. Plus, I like having minimal appliances, but a lot of people like them for sure. Moida-san, big fan from Hyderabad. Hey, glad to have you here. Do you grind your own spices? Yeah, mortar and pestle, so got it out now. Could you move the hob camera to the top right of the screen? Yes, I can do that. Oh, well, I moved the wrong one. Yeah, good call on that, because there's nothing up in the top right that you need to see. Cool. All right. Okay. So nice and toasted. And this already smells insanely good just from toasting those spices. And now we're just going to crush everything up with a mortar, and I'm actually going to grate in a little bit of cinnamon as well. So I'm just using a micro grater. This is one of my favorite tools recently. Like for things like this, you can just grate in cinnamon and things of that nature. Works really good for nutmeg. You could grate chocolate. A lot of things you can do with this. You can obviously zesting and all that good stuff too. And then for mortar and pestle, I'm not trying to get this like ultra fine. Like I'm trying to bash up all like the bigger pieces like the cloves and the cardamom seeds, the peppercorns and things like that. But I'm not overly worried about like I need a super fine paste. Obviously a spice grinder would work very well for this. But again, I just don't like to have too many appliances, so I don't have a spice grinder. That may change. I've been looking at like getting maybe a manual spice grinder that looks, there's a couple of out there that look pretty cool, so we'll see. But for now, I love using the mortar and pestle, one of my favorite tools. Good hands-on work. So that's our little spice mixture. And then most of this is going to be used in our chicken marinade. And then I'll also be sprinkling some of this over the rice. So let's get out our chicken and get that going. All right, so I got a bunch of bone-in, skin-on chicken thighs, which I think are one of the best like budget cuts for chicken and stuff. So these ones are a little bit on the like they're not huge. So I actually may use a couple more. Some of these are like big, some of them are small. So I'm probably gonna do this one's pretty small. Let's do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let's go 6. And then the rest of these I'm going to toss in a container and just probably freeze these. Hopefully these all fit in here. Probably be like one short. Oh yeah, we're gonna, no, literally one short. Oh well. But these are always good things to just have. That's why I had a problem getting a bunch of them. So, straight in the freezer. And then back to this. What I'm gonna do too on these is I'm gonna trim off a little bit of this excess skin. A lot of recipes that I've seen at least typically always use skin off. But I wanted to use skin on to see if we can crisp up the skin when it's on the sheet pan. So basically I'm gonna marinate this and then we will put it in the oven at high heat to basically get it like browned and kind of crisp. So I want the skin to be on there so it can give it some texture. But I would say it's probably not traditional to use, or at least recipes that I've seen typically don't use skin on chicken. Now that could be changed. Anyone know? So I'm just taking off like some of this excess skin that's kind of like flapping off. Keep up the great work. Appreciate that, Lucky. Where'd you get your mortar and pestle one from? I got mine probably about 3 or 4 years ago from an Asian grocery store. I just saw it on the rack and it was like 30 bucks, I think, which I thought was a good deal. So it's like a granite one. I'm sure you can order them off Amazon or whatever, but I mean, if you've never been to like a Middle Eastern or an Indian or like international Asian grocery store or something, I would highly recommend going. There's a lot of interesting things that you don't see in your normal grocery store. Like if you're in the States, like, you know, going to Kroger or Sprouts or, you know, Whole Foods and stuff like that. So good experience if you've never been to one. But that's where I got my mortar and pestle. You made the bagels today. They turned out great. Glad to hear that, Allie. Where'd you get the butcher knife with the dark brown handle? Yeah, that one is from Chef Knives to Go. So I think if you go to my recent video on kitchen gifts, I think I left a link to that in the description. You can check it out. But yeah, that one's from Chef Knives to Go. It's a Chinese cleaver. You watched the first video when I was at about 20K? Yo, that's sweet. Awesome. Glad to hear it, man. Yeah, it will make the chicken soft again, but it'll get nice and brown. So I'm not really looking for necessarily the texture, but the flavors that you get from browning up the skin. But yeah, you're definitely right that it will get soggy. Darren, thank you for the super chat. Much, much appreciated. Okay. And then another very non-traditional thing, we're gonna mayo marinate this. So typically you see, you know, yogurt or curd, but obviously I wanted to try this with mayo. I've actually never, I mean, we've done mayo marinades a million times, but I've never actually tried using this for biryani, which would be fun. Try making dosa. Yeah, I love dosa. I've never made it from scratch. I've bought batter from like an Indian grocery store before and made them, but I've been curious about making them at home, so I may have to do that one day. All right, where are my spices that I need? Okay, so we're just gonna toss some mayo in. Probably about 2 tablespoons worth should be plenty. Something like that. And then I'm gonna add in, sprinkle some of this in. Then I'm gonna add in some extra chili powder, some turmeric, and then I forgot to bash up my garlic and ginger that I wanted to do as well. Okay. Forgot to do this, so we're coming back to the mortar and pestle. Actually, I'm going to use just half of this. So mortar and pestle. Also, if you are crushing up garlic or ginger like this, it's easier if you crush it down versus this, because basically all the what do you call them, fibers are running up and down this way. So if I bash this way, it's going to kind of spread them apart. If I'm bashing up and down, it's going to squash them all and crack much easier. Then a couple cloves of garlic. So bash it once to remove the skin. And drop it back in there. And ginger and garlic paste is something used in a lot of Indian cooking. Probably one of the most items I would guess. I feel like every recipe that I see there's always some ginger and garlic paste in there. I don't know if people make it fresh though. I don't know if they make it all the time, or if they have like a container of it, just like ready to go at all times. A little paper skin left in there. But it's definitely a staple item for Indian cooking. You should make paratha. Yeah, I do want to do parathas. I haven't actually made those in a long time. It's been a couple of years since I've made parathas. So I'm just going to toss this right in there. Again, I didn't make it super like smooth or anything. Not too worried about it. What's the camera in the top right? Oh, that's for the, yeah, I should take that down now. I forgot about it. That is the stove cam when we need it, but obviously we don't need it for now. Anishwa, big fan of the technical approach. Yeah, I like to, that's how I like to approach cooking, is really think about kind of the underlying techniques and concepts of what we're trying to achieve, rather than just like following a recipe. So I'm glad that you have been enjoying that stuff. Okay, so we're also going to chop up our potatoes. I'm going to mix everything in here. And we need salt as well. A little bit less salt because mayo is salty. So I'm just eyeballing this right now. I'm going to use a little bit less than I probably normally would. And then I'm also going to chop up the onion. And I'm going to throw in some of these onion slices as well. So I'm trying to make just these really thin so they cook down pretty quickly. And then we'll also be frying some onions as a garnish as well. But I'm going to do that later when the rest of it's in the oven. So toss it in the onions. peel the potatoes. You can buy garlic and ginger. Yeah, I figured you probably could. Just like, I mean, plenty of us buy like chopped garlic in the, or already peeled garlic. So I'm actually just gonna use like 2 of these potatoes. Toss this one back in the bag up here. And smaller chunks, not super huge, but they should be fun. Innocuous remark, thank you for the super chat. The Brussels sprout salad change your life. You may be responsible for the upcoming sprout shortage. I know, dude. I agree. The Brussels sprouts, like, I mean, because I've been doing them roasted for years. I like Brussels sprouts a lot, but then the past like few months, I forget where I first even had or where I first saw it. I don't even remember. But I was like, oh, I should do Brussels sprouts. And then I had been eating it myself. Like, I'd just been like enjoying it. I made it for that Thanksgiving video. And then I was thinking, I was like, man, I should really make this into like a full video. Because I think it's a very cool way to use Brussels sprouts, and it's very versatile in what you can do. And actually, I'm working on a print, like a kind of a poster printout of those 2 frameworks from the video. So if you guys want to be on the lookout for that, I'm gonna put it up on my website. It'll be like a couple bucks, and you can get it printed out. I'll show you actually what it looks like. This one is not final, but I'll show you what it looks like. So this is a sample. I wanted to see what it looked like when it got printed out. But this is the idea, which is pretty cool, I think. So it's got like the build the salad, gives you some idea, like the BV CCF framework, how to make a vinaigrette, and then like a couple ideas on like how you can kind of serve it. So this should be, so obviously I'm just selling the print. Like, I'm not selling this. Like you just have to like go to a printing store and they can print this out for you. And then this is like a $5 frame or something. I found it at Michael's. Okay. I don't have a P.O. box. I'm hoping to open one up soon. I'll let everyone know when I do have a P.O. box open. What's your next video idea? I'm doing a couple Christmas videos next. Next one will be dropping on Sunday. I have done a Tacos de Lengua video if you want to check it out. It's from a long time ago when I was, like 2 years ago probably at this point. I was doing a Taco Tuesday series, so we did that. All right, so I'm gonna mix this up, but before I do that, I'm gonna toss this sheet pan in. I'm gonna toss this in the oven to heat up with some oil. So if I don't have any ghee left, otherwise I'd be using ghee here. But I'm gonna toss this in the oven to heat up. And then that's gonna be used to cook all this stuff, which I'm kind of realizing now, I don't know if I have enough room, but we'll make it do. But I'm just gonna mix everything up. And like I said, normally this would be done with yogurt. So obviously we're gonna get a little bit of a different flavor profile since we are using mayo, and you know it's not like sour or tart like yogurt is. But it's just like a different way of making something that I wanted to try out. So like that's what I like that's what I like about recipes, is learning how to make them kind of the more traditional, authentic ways, but then really breaking it down and saying, okay, like can I change it up and see how I can make a version different. Maybe it's better, maybe it's not. It's just different, which is that's like the fun part for cooking for me. So all this stuff just mixed up. Just nice and coated. And then this is gonna go on that sheet pan once it heats up. I'll let it go for like a couple minutes to kind of get that oil hot, but that's at 450 degrees. Now meanwhile, I'm also gonna set a pot on of water where we'll boil our rice. Microphone popping a bit, could be close. Did I miss someone's super chat? Which one? Oh, there it is, there it is. Osama, thanks for highlighting Subcontinent Feud. PK Carine? I'm not sure what that is, but I will definitely look into it. I will definitely look in. Is that a dish? I've seriously not heard of that dish before. Where'd you get your salt pinch pot? This is it's a ceramic salt pig from Emile Henry. You can find them in most like kitchen stores like Sur La Table, Williams-Sonoma. You can get them on Amazon too. But yeah, these are really good. Big fan of this. Okay. So like I said, pot of water. So we're gonna boil the rice for about 8 minutes before we actually put it over top. So I'm just gonna set that on like the back burner just to start heating up, and then we'll progress from there. And for the rice, so the rice I have pre-soaked here. So I'm gonna drain that out, and then I'm also just gonna toss in a bay leaf and a green cardamom pod in with the rice just to kind of help it get a little more fragrance. Are you classically trained in cooking? I am not. Not at all. I've never worked in any type of kitchen. I'm all self-taught. Okay, so that we'll save for later. This can be here. Tuck back in. And this is like one of those moments where like I'm kind of waiting on a couple things. So this is like those perfect moments where you can be, cleaning up your kitchen, making sure nothing's out that doesn't need to be. So I can like use this, wash up the mortar and pestle. And just like doing little things like that as you're cooking, like makes a huge difference at the end. It's not this foreboding task of like things that have stocked up over there. Oh, can you get my charger in there? It's in my room, or I might die. I didn't even realize that. All right, this stream. Well, we should be okay. It should be good for a second. No, my laptop charger. It should be plugged in over there. Oop, kick the camera. All right, crisis averted. PK Karhai equals Pakistani. Ah, I got you. Cool, but no, I've not heard of that. But now that you have said that, I will. I'll make a note of it right now on my my little to-do for today, and I'll check that out. PK Karhai, sweet. I don't even know if I'm saying that right. Apologies if I'm butchering that pronunciation. I probably am. Okay, so I'm gonna pull this out. This sheet pan. Oil should be hot. So we're just gonna dump everything out. And you can hear the oils going off. Smells really good. A little warping from the cool of the food that hit it. And then now I'm actually gonna turn the oven on broil. So I really want it to hit the top and get it nice and browned. That's kind of my idea. That's what I'm envisioning. We'll see how well it works. So hopefully it kind of crisps everything up. We're not trying to cook it through at this stage because it's gonna steam with all the rice in the oven for, like probably like 20 or 30 minutes. So it's not a big deal that we're trying to cook it through. Right now I'm trying to get color and some flavor on there. Hey Brian, I appreciate the super chat. Glad you're enjoying the stream. Loving the international flavor of the chat. I agree. I think I haven't looked at the audience in a while, but there's like a good bit of people from all over. Like obviously, I'm based in the U.S., so there are going to be more people in the U.S. for sure. But I think food is kind of it's a very commonplace thing that like can bring people together because food is so different in different places. Which is like part of the fun for me because like, if I flip through a cookbook from like Madhur Jaffrey or from like Diana Kennedy and I see all these recipes that like I've literally never heard of from Mexican or Indian cuisine, and then try to make them and try to learn about them, like that's really fun. And then it brings people from those countries, then they can, they probably have some slight nuance in how they would have done it, which is really cool. This is off topic, but thanks for making me try pick. Hey, I'm glad you tried them. Yeah, that was the pickled onions video and like the Brussels sprouts video were ones that like, I was like, should I make a video about this? Like, I don't think it'll be that like interesting or whatever. And then I was like, no, like these are like good basic things that I feel like are good for people who should know how to do. A lot of people have liked the pickled onion video. Where's my basket? It's on this side. So I'm going to drain off this rice, and then that'll be boiling in a second. And then we'll toss that in and let it boil. I'll toss these two guys in the meantime. And Just move this. All right. You live in Poland. The food here is very so. Watching other people from other countries is kind of doing different kind of stuff is cool. Yeah, I really want to get to Poland. It's on my very top of the list to go to. How do you clean your boost block after you've had meat touch? For this guy, I have like this little sanitizer that I spray on it, wipe it down, and that's really it. It's not too much. I typically don't touch meat on this though. I typically pull out this cutting board or this guy. But yeah, just for these two, for this like specific boost block and that one, I'll just wash them under hot, soapy, cold water. It's really all you need to do. But for this, I typically don't put meat on it since obviously I can't actually bring it over. But if there is like a little touch or something, I'll wash it with soap, put a little spray on it, and you're good to go. Thoughts on making a cookbook? One of the things I want to do for sure. I have an outline on it that I've got a couple outlines on things and ideas that I want to tackle. First one would probably be something simple and very practical, but we shall see. We'll get there. Did I say hot, soapy, cold water at the same time? How do you avoid open fire routine catching fire? It shouldn't catch fire as long as because you're only keep it on there for like 20 seconds, if that. It's like you don't really need to. You shouldn't have to worry about it like actually catching on fire. You love the plates and bowls? These are actually just from IKEA. Yeah, these are. I don't know. IKEA stoneware 12011. That's what it says on the bottom. I'm not sure like what actual color this is, but I just picked them out because yeah, I really like the color of them. I feel like they make food kind of pop. Stove cam's frozen? Yeah, you're right. Should be active now. You should make Korean food. I do want to do some Korean food. Yeah, I've been kind of slacking on doing Korean, Thai, and some Japanese dishes that I want to tackle at some point. Yeah, the thing with food is there's literally so many ideas and so many dishes. Like it's going to take me years to go through with this. Are you going to go work with other YouTubers in the future? Yeah, I mean, I'd like to do some collaborations and stuff. Obviously now it's a little bit harder because you can't meet in person, which would be like kind of the fun of it. You can do stuff over like a Zoom call or something like that. But yeah, I'm open for working with anyone. Have you tried making pretzels? Yeah, I've made pretzels before. It's been a while, but yeah, they're fun to make. All right, so I'm gonna toss in the rice now, just in this boiling water, and I'm just gonna let this boil for probably 8 minutes. Echo. Set a timer for 8 minutes.
8 minutes, starting now.
Sorry if that sets off some of your echoes, I'm sure. or if you have Alexa. Mine set to echo on in here, so. Have you tried making a beef Wellington? I've not I've not done a video, but I have made a beef Wellington. We did it for Christmas, I think like 3 or 4 years ago. Yeah, usually like me or my dad, or we kind of work on it together. We like do the main kind of meat dish for Christmas, and it's usually not the same thing. So I think last year I did like a goose. Maybe a couple years we did the beef Wellington one year. We did a Peking duck one year. He's done like roast beef several times and stuff like that. But I haven't done a beef Wellington video yet. I mean, there's a bunch of good videos on beef Wellington. Maybe I'll do one at some point if there's something interesting about beef Wellington that I feel like the other videos haven't hit upon. Yeah, we'll keep it as an idea for down the road. So these onions I'm going to fry up for our garnish. So it's probably a very typical garnish. Chris, how are you live streaming with such good camera quality using DSLR with some kind of adapter program? Yeah, so I'm not using anything high tech actually. I have the Sony a6600 with the Sigma 16 millimeter. So that's this front on shot with I think I'm at like an f3.2, so it's a good lens, but it's not like, this isn't, I mean, it's quality stuff, but it's not anywhere near the top end stuff. Like, it's not a Sony a7 III or above, and it's like a $300 lens compared to some that are like $1,500. But I have a good lighting setup, so that also helps make the camera look a lot better. And then as far as my software, I'm just using OBS. It's at 1920 by 1080, but I'm recording, or on the camera it's on 4K, so I think it's compressing 4K down to 1920, so I think that has a part to do with it. But as far as like equipment goes, this isn't, again, it's like, it's good stuff, but it's not like super expensive, insane quality stuff. Okay, so I'll give you guys a little update on this. So, getting a little bit of browning in here. I'm actually going to move the rack up, I think, because I think it's not quite getting there where I want it. Just going to move up the rack to the highest. Set it right underneath that burner, or under that broiler. Echo, how much time left?
You have 4 minutes and 20 seconds left on your 8-minute timer.
4 minutes, okay. Making sure I didn't miss anything. Thoughts on South American cuisine? Yes, I don't know much about it. Probably my favorite is arepas. So what are those? Are those Argentinian, I think, originally? I'm not sure. But those are one of my favorite foods of all time. Will sodium citrate work as an emulsifier with the vinaigrette? So sodium citrate in and of itself is working to keep the cheese sauce emulsified by not letting the proteins and the milk fat separate. So it's not really gonna work the same. It's not the same idea really. It's not like with a vinaigrette, because it's fat, but it's like liquidy water. It might work, to be honest. I'm not really sure. I like to see you do tradition Slovak Christmas dinner and your opinion on it. Yeah, I would love to one day. I'm gonna do a pierogi video. I need to film it actually. So that'll be out probably early next week. I'm gonna be doing a pierogi video. That's one of our dishes that we always do on Christmas Eve. Okay, so I've got this boiled. It was looking close enough done to me. And I'll show you guys these, how long these like rice strands get. For basmati, they're crazy. So and then as you kind of steam them, hopefully they'll kind of curl up. That's kind of like the signature like look of them. But like they're super long like pieces of rice. That's that signature look. And then, like I said, hopefully they curl up in the oven. But we shall see. Stove cam. Oh yeah, the stove cam does have grid lines. Malcolm, I appreciate the super chat for letting me know. I forgot I turned the grid on for this. Yeah, because it's not coming straight from the camera. It's coming from like my capture software for the side cam, at least, not for the main cam. All right, so these are starting to look a little bit better. We'll give them another minute or two, and then I'm basically just going to throw that on top. We'll seal it up, let it go in the oven for a little while. Top the biryani with coriander. That's what we're going to do. That's what we're going to do. So I'm also going to fry these onions up. So I'm going to use some, for this, I'm just going to use some leftover peanut oil. This is leftover fry oil that I saved. And these are just going to be used to fry our onions. So, I mean, some people don't like the taste of peanut oil. I don't mind it at all. It's actually one of my favorite oil flavors. So, but for this, you could use vegetable oil. You could use ghee again. You could use, there's a bunch of varieties. But basically, we're just going to fry all these onions up and kind of get them crispy. Is there a particular reason for this recipe to cook the rice in excess? So with this, we're not actually cooking the rice all the way through yet. We're going to steam it for the remaining time in the oven. So it's a little bit different. You could kind of make it, you could do that, like you could do like a normal just, method, cook the rice completely through and then just kind of mix it together. But, Echo, stop. But with biryani, you typically finish cooking the rice and everything together. That's kind of like the typical thing. And also, actually, you guys can see this, actually, as this cools, and it's kind of been steaming a little bit anyway, like the rice is kind of, you can see it starting to like kind of curl up, which is always kind of pretty cool to see. At least I think so. Can you let us know how you clean your cast iron grill? Yeah, I'm planning on doing a video hopefully in January or something. So we'll see. Yeah, I want to cover a cast iron kind of cooking video though. But for me, mine's pretty basic. I don't overthink it too much. I scrape everything off. If there's stuff stuck to it, I will. If there's stuff stuck to it, I'll probably do it under the sink. If not, I'll just scrape it with my metal spatula. So getting some nice color on here. Again, this is not really like super crispy as I thought, which is fine. It is what it is. I mean, it wasn't gonna like stay super crispy, but we're getting at least a little bit of browning on that exterior of the skin, which is nice. But for me, I'm just gonna call this good. So what we're gonna do is just throw the rice over top. Something like this, just hopefully I should have enough rice. And then I'm also going to sprinkle a little bit more of this spice mix in throughout. And then if you guys want, we can do the saffron milk thing too. I still have saffron. Typically saffron, we can do it now or we can do it at the end as well to give it the streaks. This is already smelling incredible. So maybe I could have used a little bit bigger of a sheet pan, but let me try to do this without spilling the rice everywhere. But yeah, this is like the way the chicken comes out, it like is super tender if you let this go for a while. I guess for a little bit of a, I mean, maybe a sheet pan, maybe this would be a little bit better with some like boneless, skinless, and you kind of chopped up the pieces so they don't stick out as much. But I think this will be a fun way to do it. Actually, I'm just gonna do turmeric milk. We'll just do turmeric milk today. So get a little glass of milk. I'm actually just gonna warm it right in this guy. Actually, we'll do saffron. Going for the saffron. Going for the aromatic. Should probably toast it first, though. Ooh, I probably missed a lot of questions back in there. Hopefully, I didn't miss anyone's. Okay, good. We're chilling. Okay. How many bottles of reggae sauce? I have no idea what reggae sauce is, but I mean, I'm down. It sounds interesting. This is a very strange biryani recipe. I completely agree it is, yeah. I had the idea and I was like, I'm gonna see how this turns out. So basically now we're gonna steam it with all this stuff. So I'm just gonna pinch that a little bit. I'm not gonna toast it. I feel like it's super floral as it is. That it's not like super imperative. Plus I don't want to overpower it. Saffron can be a little overpowering. I think so, at least. It's definitely a very distinct aroma. I should have let this steep longer. You know what we'll do? I'll let that steep for a bit and then I'll pour it over after we get this in the oven for a while. But now I'm gonna let this steam at 300 for like maybe, all right, didn't like that apparently. Yeah, we'll do 350 for like 20 minutes. And halfway through, I'll pour over the milk. Forgot I need this guy. Don't want that on the top rack anymore. And then this oil is definitely hot for the onions. Let me test. Probably a little too hot. I'm gonna pull this back off the heat for a second and then we'll fry the onions. Okay. But yeah, this is really cool because you can see the saffron like starting to color everything. Whew. All right. Do you like the Ratatouille movie? I love the Ratatouille movie. I haven't seen it in a long time though. I've heard of Bernal Cutlery. I don't think I've actually bought a knife from them yet though. But yeah, they have a lot of cool stuff. I was looking at their website the other day. What was I looking for? Oh, I was looking for a Christmas present, but then I ended up getting a knife from a different site. Any workout tips or workout routine videos? I don't have anything. My big thing is just, for me, I think it's best if you do something every day. versus like, I'd rather do something every day for a shorter amount of time rather than doing like hour-and-a-half gym sessions. I used to do that. I used to do those long gym sessions, and I don't like to do that anymore. Why did you turmeric? Oh, we did saffron instead of turmeric. And thank you for the super chat. Glad I could help you get into some cooking, and I'm glad you like the recipes and technique approaches. Yeah, that's exactly what I'm going for. I'm trying. I felt like there wasn't. I mean, a lot of channels definitely do go into technique and stuff, but I kind of wanted to do it specifically for like home cook and make that applicable. And it seems like people are liking it, so. It's always good to hear. I'm finishing up a video now, a cookie video, which I literally never bake. And I learned some things making this video about the technique of like cookies and whatnot. So it's pretty cool. All right, let me check on this oil. Yeah, that's much better. All right. Much better. Got it. And then we're also gonna, so we're just gonna let these kind of fry down. And they'll get nice and brown and all that good stuff. Meanwhile, continue washing some dishes. Whoa. Yo, this kind of looks like the blue milk from Star Wars in A New Hope. Let me see. Come here, glass. Maybe not. It kind of looked like it for a second. Oh, it's not quite as blue. It looks bluer from this angle. It kind of looks blue. But if anyone has seen A New Hope with Luke where they drink the blue milk, it's kind of like what the color looks like for some reason. The mixture of the soap and the milk. Are you ever going to collab with My Name is Andong? Yeah, I'd love to. I want to do some traveling next year. So if it works out where like I could travel to, he's based out of Germany, right? Where I could travel to Germany and meet up and do something, that'd be awesome. Will there be a Boxing Day Christmas dinner leftover stream? We're going to do a Christmas stream, or actually I was going to ask on this. Should we do Christmas Eve or Christmas Day stream? I'm going to do one of the two, but whatever you guys want to do, it doesn't matter to me. Like you cut, I gave myself this cut today. So I've been trying to learn how to cut my own hair. I mean, it's not perfect. Like if you actually look up close, it's not great. But I think from a distance, it looks all right, which is all that matters for me right now. It's not like I'm too worried about it. I don't see too many people on a day-to-day basis in quarantine. Any good Polish salads? I don't know a ton of Polish salads, actually. What brand pan, the one that you're frying in? It's a made-in pan, so carbon steel made-in pan. I'm sure if they're like, I feel like they're most well known like on Instagram and stuff, but I just got them, trying them out, seeing what I think about them, and so far I'm a fan. What did I do with the saffron jar? So I have the cap. Oh. Put it in here. Christmas Day, Eve. What did you say, Shani? Eve? Okay, a lot of people are saying Christmas Eve. Who makes the rack in your fridge? If you go to my 2 videos ago, I have a link to it. A couple of different, it's from Amazon, a couple of different people make it. Have you ever made anything from Czech cuisine? Probably something similar, but I'm not sure if it's a name. I know in I've made a bunch of Polish dishes, but I'm not sure if any of them are specific to Czech. If you go to Germany, stop by Netherlands, you can try some stroopwafels. I have been to, so I was in Amsterdam right after I graduated college, and I was opened up to the idea of stroopwafels, and they are absolutely delicious. How many times do you test recipes before posting them? It depends a lot on the type of video. So if I want to show the testing process, then it might be 1 or 2 times. Or if I have a base recipe, but I want to compare differences between two things, I'll just make both and then just film both and then kind of talk about the differences. For what's a good video? Like the hash brown video. So that day, I had tried a number of different methods to try to make it, but those weren't different recipes. It was me tweaking variables here and there. So it was one full day kind of doing a bunch of tweaks for 3 or 4 hours. And then I was all right, this is my finalized recipe. Then I actually filmed it the next day. So it depends. Middle East, I've not made it yet. I will though. I need to make that. I haven't made kind of Middle Eastern, Mediterranean. I've been on an Indian kick lately a lot, but I haven't done shawarma or salads, pitas. But yeah, I definitely do want to make it. Sugar and pickled onions, Brian, or no sugar? You can add sugar if you want a little sweetness. Absolutely. Completely optional, but yeah, if you want a little sweetness, go ahead and add some. It just depends on if you like that flavor. You tried making the hash browns from the vid and they came out gray. Anything in mind? Yeah, so they'll come out a little bit gray because of the washing thing, which I kind of showed I showed the 2 plates how the one that I didn't wash was grayer because they kind of get a little bit more oxidized if you don't wash them. It's more of a cosmetic thing, which is why I was I don't really care that much for me. But yeah, if you want them to be kind of a whiter in appearance, do that extra washing step. I probably should have pointed that out a little bit better in the video than I did. But yeah, it's more of a cosmetic thing. They'll kind of get gray. Actually, I think I still have one in my fridge, and I'm sure it looks gray. Do I have one in here? It's not super gray, but it's grayish, I would say. It's not pure white. I don't know. So that's kind of what you'll get. Again, it's more of a cosmetic thing. I didn't, at least in my side-by-side taste test, I didn't notice any huge differences in how it actually tasted or how it fried up. But obviously, people's mileages vary for sure. All right, those look about fried up enough for me. So I'm gonna put them on a plate with a paper towel. And we'll be on our way here. Okay. Don't need that much. That'll be plenty. All right, and then let me throw this milk over. Again, I probably should have done this before, but it's fine. Put that down to protect that top. Where is my other guy here? Come on, little guys. Come and join the party down here. Okay. Toss that back in. It's a little bit hot on my hand. All right, now we're just waiting on that. So we'll let that go for another little, I don't know, maybe 10 or 15 minutes. Meanwhile, we'll just answer some questions, clean up the kitchen, all that good stuff. All right. How many stovetop pans do you own? Include woks, cast irons, etc. Let me think. So I've got, this is a new one, but it's kind of replacing some of my other one. I have this. This is my grandma's cast iron from way back in the day. I have cast iron griddle. I have a wok. I have that pan that we've used today. The wok's over there, I'm not gonna get it out. And then I have that sauce pot that we used. And then I have this bigger pot. But I wanna replace this for like a Dutch oven, like an enamel one. Just because I feel like that is a little bit more useful than just that one big pot. But yeah, I think that's it. Do you use a 10.5 inch? Oh yeah, I forgot about these. So I also do have those, like I think they're 8-inch cast irons, but they're not ones that I use. I use them for like presentation purposes, like in that Biryani video I used them. All right. Should try adding some boiled eggs. Yeah, that is true. I haven't done the boiled egg things, but I've been served with it with boiled eggs, but I haven't done it myself. Any significance to the black Patagonia shirt? I just like it. No, yeah, I literally just like it. I've had that shirt for probably well, okay. So there is significance in the video purposes because I always try to wear black. I started doing this, I don't know when I actually started doing it, but the idea behind wearing black is to let the focus be on the food and not like on what I'm wearing. So if I'm wearing like a plain black t-shirt, normally the food is going to kind of pop based off of that. Like you'll be able to see it easier versus if I had like a graphic tee or something, it would kind of be a bad background for the food. Whereas if I'm focusing on food, like holding up something like this, if I have a plain black shirt, this is gonna pop so much more than if I was like wearing, you know, some kind of graphic tee or something, or maybe a really like light color. So I just chose black just because it's easy, and I don't know, I like black. I kind of like plain clothing anyway, as I've kind of, you know, gotten older. I kind of like just plain stuff that's simple. But yeah, so that's why I always wear a black shirt. Has Ethan ever talked about sexualized? Yeah, I'm straight for whatever that's worth, but yeah. I don't know why. Yeah, people ask though, but it's fine. Have you ever made chicken tikka biryani? No, I have not. Yo, what's going on, Ralphie? Oh, a quick review of the chicken recipe wise for those. Yeah. So what we did was we toasted our spices and made like a masala mixture. The ingredients for it are on the Notion page. So we toasted those up, ground them up, and then that was used in our marinade for the chicken. So the marinade was mayo. Then I also added turmeric, some extra chili powder, the masala spice mixture. Mixed that up with chicken thighs, bone in, skin on, sliced up onions, and some chopped up potatoes that were skinned. Then mixed all that up. Put a sheet pan in the oven with some oil to heat it up, then took that out of the oven, threw the chicken on, let everything kind of cook up, put it under the broiler to kind of crisp up the top, get some color on there, and then poured over rice, and then now that's what we're waiting on in the oven. You should make, I have made raita before. It's very, very good. I have made it before. I should do a video about that. You should try making mutton biryani. I agree. I need a mutton purveyor. Any failed video recipe that you never uploaded or lost while editing? No, I don't think I've ever lost a video or like been like, this isn't a good video and just didn't upload it. I don't think I've ever actually done that. I've definitely been like frustrated with it. I'm like, this is not exactly how I wanted it to turn out. I can't remember a specific video right now, but no, I don't think there's ever been a video where I was like, I'm just gonna scrap the whole thing or whatever. Yeah, I don't think so. I have made infused olive oils. They're more like on a basis thing. Like I don't typically make them ahead of time. It's more like if I want a flavored olive oil, I'll just put some in a pan and then maybe throw some garlic and rosemary in it or something and then use that oil for something, but I don't really make it ahead of time and have it ready. You should make papadum. That's something I have not made, but I'm down. Oh, Peter, if you go onto my community post on YouTube, it's linked there. I should have put it in the description of the live stream. I didn't do that. I'm not. I don't have all my live stream stuff sorted out just yet. We're still working on it on the YouTube scene. But also these. So I don't know if you guys noticed, but these onions, when I took them out, they were still kind of loose. But as they dry, they get this kind of crisp texture. I'm sure you guys can probably hear this. nice and crispy. But in an invitation to Indian cooking, the author notes that like this is like the one garnish that she feels like is not optional. You have to go fried onions over top. I appreciate that, Brandon. Yeah, it's definitely come a long way in the past couple of years. Onion bhaji. I've never made that, but I can look into it. Keep tagging me on Instagram. Yeah, I'll try to. When I see tags, I try to get to them. I'm not good at being diligent about making sure I get to all of them, but I try to when I can on Instagram. Oh, I'm getting hungry. And then these actually, I mean, they don't store super well, but they don't store that bad as long as you kind of let them dry out. What music? I listen to like a bunch of random stuff. Them Onions Crispy, yeah. If you change the paper down, yeah. If you let them sit on there, they definitely will become kind of soggy again. How many subscribers do you need to live stream? I have no idea if you need a minimum or not. I don't know. Any plans for baking? Yeah, I have a cookie video that will be coming out on Sunday. Maybe I'll drop it Saturday. Probably Sunday. That'll be coming out. But yeah, I want to get back into bread making. I typically don't do sweets. Like, you probably won't see any more sweets from me for some time. But we'll get there. Cool. Oh, let me get the cilantro out. Where is the cilantro? And I'm just gonna like roughly break it up. You could chop it if you wanted. I think also some biryanis use mint too, if you happen to have mint leaves. I typically have cilantro. I don't typically have mint unless I'm probably making something specifically where I need mint. What is the #1 solid advice you can give to new food tubers? Yeah, this is a good question that I like answering. So the thing with food on YouTube, right? Like, you're not gonna be able to like do new like dishes and stuff. Like, everything in food has pretty much been done. So what I think you need to do to make good food videos is think about your audience and what they want to know. How is this going to bring? How is your food video of like a steak or some recipe going to bring value to them? You know, there's a million steak videos, but if you make a steak video that shows, hey, you can save money instead of going to a steakhouse by making this, or you can, or these are all the things that you need to know about how to make steak. You'd like the basics of it. Like these are 4 different ways that you could potentially prepare steak or whatever. So there's always a way that you can frame food to make it more relevant and more valuable for your viewers. So for like me, like I try to think about the home cook, the people who are gonna watch these videos. I think, all right, like how are they going to get something from the video that I'm gonna make that brings them some value? Is it making something faster? Is it making something cheaper? Is it making something with a different texture or maybe a different ingredient? Or maybe is it bringing them inspiration, like the Brussels sprout salad video, for example? That was the value in that, at least I think, is you get a base blueprint to make several dishes out of. So that's what I'm thinking about when I'm making videos, is I'm thinking about how am I going to bring, for me it's informative value to the viewer. So that's what I'm trying to think about. But obviously you could go entertainment route, like Binging with Babish, for example. Specifically the Binging with Babish series is much more of an entertainment value than it is informational. Like most people aren't gonna make, a crazy recipe that has, 10 meats in it from a movie, but we watch it for the entertainment value. It's interesting. It's about a movie that we've probably heard of or something like that. So there's kind of those 2 routes you can go. You can go for value, and it's either do you give it in the form of entertainment or do you give it in the form of information or something that your user is going to be able to, the viewer is going to be able to use. And I think if you kind of frame your videos in that sense, it's going to help you create better videos that more people will want to watch. That was a long-winded answer, but that's what I would say about that. Any tips to avoid clutter and mess in the kitchen? Do what I'm doing now. If you have some downtime, just start putting a couple things away. Put 1 thing away. Put 2 things away, and eventually it'll add up. For me, like I'll typically throw on a podcast, I'll throw on music, or I'll throw on Netflix. So it doesn't really feel like I'm, actively like being like, oh, I gotta clean all the dishes. It's just like, oh, well, this is my kind of chill out time where, I listen to some music or I have Netflix on, I'm watching something or whatever. All right, let me check the temperature on this oil. Well, this oil is in onions, so it's pretty oniony. I don't know if I want to save it. Unless I was cooking onions again in it. All right, I appreciate the mod help, Shiny, as always. Do you use soap on any of your dishes? Yeah, I've got the soap right there. Some I do more than others. Like if I know there's like fat, that's what like really helps with soap. It like cuts, or like it's something with the bonding of fats that it like dissolves it better. But like soap in and of itself isn't like most dish soap. It's not like that's not antibacterial or anything. It just helps. I think soap works by it lets things like run away faster or something like that with how it breaks it down. You made the popcorn chicken? Yo, glad to hear it. I haven't made that popcorn chicken, I think I've made it once since that video. I might just have to take out this chicken just because I'm too hungry. It's probably cooked through anyway by now, so we shall enjoy. All right. Ooh. Let me test this chicken. Yeah, it's definitely cooked through. All right. Sharky, thanks for the super chat. Preferred method for cooking sirloin, given that it's tougher and chewier than a ribeye or near strip. Yeah, so for those fattier ones, like, or a little, I guess, tougher, like that is a good example where sous vide may come in handy because you're cooking it for a long time, so that connective tissue has time to like break down. So definitely a good option on that one. And then I'd probably, you know, just do it over ripping high heat. Like if you did want to go that route, or alternatively would be reverse searing. Again, you're cooking it for a longer time at a slow heat, so you let it break down. So those are probably the top two that I would go for. All right. Let's get a bunch of this. And then get some, slide this over here. Some fried onions on there. A little coriander. So definitely not a super traditional chicken biryani, but for me, I think this is the fun part about cooking, is like testing out different methods on classic dishes. All right. Let's go in for the kill here. Get a drink. Oh, I think my favorite thing about, like, obviously the flavors are super interesting because there's so many different spices in there. But I love the texture of the rice. It's one of those dishes where I could eat like just the rice and just eat copious amounts of it, like I typically do anyway. But it's a fun dish to make. If you're looking for a recipe, like, I mean, I did one, but there's so many different varieties all around. Like everyone's gonna have their own way of doing it, their way, different spices and all that. But letting everything cook together and then using that basmati rice, that for me is, I feel like I've never had a bad biryani. I don't think that day will ever come either. Then with the mayo marinade, I do miss a little bit of the tanginess from using yogurt. But again, that's part of like the cooking process, is trying out different things. Something to consider, but I mean, it still works really well. Maybe I could have added some lemon juice or something to give it a little bit more vibrance. But it's good. Supposed to eat it by hand? Yeah. Can you do a knife sharpening video starting at 320 grit? I actually have one. It's not like a full demo tutorial, but I have one on how to fix a chipped chef's knife. It's another older video for sure. And then obviously you could use bone, you don't have to use bone in, but it's kind of fun to use bone in, I think. Plus it just comes clean off. But I definitely think this is a fun method to do biryani, right? Like, I mean, it depends on what you have in your kitchen. Like if you don't have a big casserole dish, or if you have a smaller kitchen, I would say this is probably easier. Like it's fairly easy to do so. And what's great about this is, I mean, it makes a lot. I mean, this is a lot of food right there. Like this is a number of meals, I would say. Where are the pickled onions? Actually, I almost always do add pickled onions when I make it biryani for myself and make it. I forgot about that. And actually this is like the perfect way to get, like I said, I was kind of missing some acidity, a little tang. I don't think I have a favorite video, Tin Man. Biryani changes by regional one. Yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah. 1000%. Oh, are people saying I culturally appropriated? Yeah, I never understand like the, I'm not saying this is traditional, or I'm not saying it's my recipe. I'm saying it's inspired by chicken biryani. Like that's all I'm saying. I'm not trying to like say this is mine. Like I just inspired by it and I made it in a different way that I've not seen made before. And maybe some other people do make it like this. So yeah. I mean, because really all food like is fusion or has been like that's how it is. Like that's what food is. It is like a fusion of over the time, you know, everything changes. You learn about some new technique from here and someone takes it for there. Like it's thing. Like I'm not trying to say this is my like I made this or like I invented this. Absolutely not. Any upcoming videos to look out for? Yes. Cookie video on Sunday, I think. And then pierogi video a couple days after that, hopefully. Daniel, I appreciate the super chat. Much appreciated. Do you have a link for those round plastics? Yeah, they're on Amazon, but yeah, I think people in Europe have been having trouble. I don't know if they ship from the link that I have. But yeah, if you look up deli containers, that's what they're known as. But yeah, that is going to wrap it up for the stream, everybody. Hopefully you had some fun. You learned a little bit of something. Maybe you make something like this for yourself. I have the ingredients on that Notion page if you do want to test it out. I don't have like specific measurements. This was kind of more of an eyeball. I kind of just got the idea for it and was like, yeah, let's just do it on live stream. But hopefully this gives you some ideas on what you can do and what you can make for yourself. Or if you do want a specific recipe, just check out, I do have a biryani video that you guys can all check out too. But yeah, and this stream will be up. I'll leave it up on the channel if you guys do want to come back to it, watch it, chill out or whatever. But other than that, hopefully everyone has a good rest of their day. And yeah, like I said, new video Sunday, another video before that, and then I think we'll do a stream on Christmas Eve or Christmas Day. So mark that on your calendar. And yeah, so appreciate everybody. Have a good rest of the day. Peace.